very pleased to be joined with Michael LaRosa, who is a Capitol Hill veteran, a veteran journalist, and was press secretary to the First Lady and special assistant to the President of the United States of America. Michael, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
I don't mean to put you on the spot here.
Yeah,
Can the president not make it up the main stairs on the presidential aircraft?
of course he can, and I know he can, but it goes back to that.
So why isn't he? Because it seems to me that what Joe Biden has in age is trust. I trust him in a moment of real grave danger, right? And I understand there's a big opposition, but the decision to cloister him,
Yeah.
where does that come from? I mean, is that
What I found, Steve, from being there was it was an impulse to protect, to prevent, almost like a preventative measure.
that defense?
Yeah, people want to implement strategies, but they're kind of scared to take risks because they're so scared about what the downside could be. And I think that fundamentally misjudges the media because the news cycle changes so fast. I feel like sometimes I'm not trying to throw them under the bus or be critical, but I feel like the things that they think are media stories are no longer media stories these days. Even if he slips and falls or whatever, there's too much other stuff moving at a very fast pace in the media that are just not media stories anymore. And so these are the easy things that I think that they've done a disservice to him for it.
I think looking ahead, I see an issue coming down the tracks, and that's this question over debates about whether these two are going to debate. And I see this conversation playing out in Washington, right? It's inconceivable to me that the American people, in an age where they get a vote on everything, we pick our pop stars now on a television program where people call in and vote. And that wasn't the case when I was growing up, right? That they're not going to see a debate, that they're not going to see the heavyweight match, that they're not going to see the confrontation mano a mano of these two men for the most powerful office in the world in front of the nation. In my career, I've heard a lot of conventional wisdom that I think is off. Some of it I think has been deranged. I can't think of another premise that I find more completely ludicrous than the notion that seems to exist in some places around the president that he's above debating Donald Trump. And I think to myself, is it possible that there are actually people around Biden close in, right, that are behind these blind quotes, suggesting that he's not going to debate Donald Trump and face this man mano a mano, eye to eye in front of the country?
I just want to say I have no idea, but I can tell you, Joe Biden, if this debate is held in Moscow, Joe Biden should be debating. Joe Biden needs these debates. His only vulnerability is presentation and competency, or the age issue. He was great at the State of the Union, but he needs this debate. And whether there's one or two or whatever, Joe Biden needs these debates. So I have no idea if that's I can't, as a political observer my entire life, I can't imagine that there's any way, any strategy that says this is good for you. That I don't believe it myself. A lot of people remember there were questions over whether now this is not the same thing, obviously, but people were questioning whether Fetterman should debate. I thought he had to. I thought anytime you are not confronting your opponent, no matter your vulnerabilities, if you don't confront your opponent, you're going to lose. And I thought, Fetterman, his performance was, was startling to some people. I think the story would have been much worse if he had backed out of his only debate with his opponent. And I think that's the case here, Steve. You tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Biden will be blamed if they don't debate, because for as much as he as he lies, Donald Trump, in every breath he takes, he's a performer and he knows how to entertain, but he also knows how to perform. If the president can't match his performance, he doesn't appear on a debate stage, he will get blamed for that. I think that's my opinion. It's just a gut opinion, not backed up by facts, but I think he needs these debates more than Trump needs these debates. And Trump wasn't that great of a debater to begin with.
Refreshing to hear. Michael LaRosa, thank you so much for your time. And thank you all for watching this edition of The Warning. Thank you for listening to my political commentary. If you like what you heard today, please also consider subscribing to The Warning daily newsletter on Substack.